Hello, I'm BA Schrock, and welcome to another episode of Unlocking Your Financial Future. And joining me today, very excited for this guest, Ben Zelei with Polito Consulting Companies. We know him through SBT, which is Small Business Technologies. Ben, welcome to the show. Glad to have you on.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
So we're going to spend some time here today and probably break this down into two parts, maybe 10, 15 minutes each, and really dive into the questions that we often get from clients about, data security, robocalls, password security, kind of the things that people need to watch out for in today's day and age with technology and the internet out there, and how to kind of protect that, and some advice from Ben. He's kind of the go-to expert. Anytime we have questions, he's the guy we call, and he usually fixes it for us. So, but Ben, before we get started, can you kind of give me a background? Let us know a little bit more about you, where you're from, where you went to school, your education background, stuff like that.
Yeah. So I grew up in Clinton, Ohio, which is, 15 minutes down, 21 here. High school, didn't want to go to college. Just was like, like college is kind of forced on everybody, which I did end up going to college, but I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And actually, I don't think you guys know this, but the Marine Corps recruiter came to the school, and he was basically, I heard the call. So I actually enlisted in the Marine Corps out of high school.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Hey, thanks for the support.
Yeah.
And I got lucky enough to do IT in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
So I did IT for the aviation side.
Cool.
And in the aviation side, it's one IT guy for the unit, as opposed to like the ground side of the Marine Corps. There's a whole shop of IT guys.
Yeah.
Aviation is just one guy. So it's almost like the consulting world. It's one guy that goes out, and so it's kind of trial by fire is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I got exposed to a lot in that, and then
pretty important stuff too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Whenever it deals with aviation.
Right.
So I did my 5 years there, got the GI Bill, and then I went to the University of Akron.
Okay.
Where I got an associate's and a bachelor's. The bachelor's was in cybersecurity.
Okay.
So
nice.
And then I've been here for 3 years. So
was it always a passion of yours, like in high school, to get into IT, or is it like once you got to the Marine Corps, they kind of directed you in that path?
It was just one of those things. I have a brother who's a year older than me, and him and I were always, on the computer. If that's what you would call it. Family members would have issues, don't know how to use Google. So they would like come to us, and we would just so it was kind of natural.
Gotcha.
My brother went for web development for college, so it just kind of fell into it.
Okay.
So
awesome. So then you said your degree was in cybersecurity?
Yes.
Nice. Was that challenging?
Yeah. I mean, it was a new degree at the University of Akron.
Yeah.
This was 2017, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I started out with networking, with computer networking, which is what the associates was in, but that they came out with the cybersecurity degree. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to jump ship onto that. And it was similar classes anyway, so I didn't really miss out on much. But yeah, I mean, it was challenging. It was good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Good info to learn. So. So
now your role with the whole family of companies, the PCS, SBT, and so forth and so on, the whole alphabet. So what's your role there, and what do you do there on a daily basis?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my title would be maybe like network engineer, but I do tend to gravitate towards the, cybersecurity problems, cybersecurity is a huge umbrella.
Yeah.
It'd be very challenging to be an expert in every single aspect of cybersecurity. Mm-hmm. So whether that's configuring a firewall. I configured your guys' firewall. Yeah. Whether that's configuring a firewall. And there's a difference between setting up a firewall and setting up a firewall, securely.
Sure.
Like you can just
plug it in
and it'll work, but doesn't mean you have all the security policies set up how they should be set up.
Right.
So firewalls, I manage phishing campaigns for a number of customers where you send out fake phishing emails, not to point fingers and try to get people to click, and then you kind of, say, haha, but in an effort to raise awareness for phishing, because, it doesn't really matter how smart you are. These emails can be pretty crafty.
Absolutely.
Firewalls, phishing, segmenting networks. You have your business with your server, but then you also have like security cameras, or you also have, IoT devices like smart speakers and stuff like that. All that extra stuff shouldn't be on the same network that your server's on. But usually by default, just plug it in and then it works, but it doesn't mean it's secure.
Sure.
So segmenting networks in a way that, hey, only this can talk to this, only that can talk to that.
Interesting.
I do a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
So
cool. So when it comes to your average everyday computer user, I know you said you usually talk like 5 bullet points, but we'll kind of hone in on some of those and some specific questions I have. I guess, what is the easiest way for people out there to kind of avoid the typical email hacking or the fraudulent emails that they tend to see? Obviously not click on them, but like you said, they can get pretty crafty with these emails. What's the best advice around avoiding that? And then kind of 2-part, how do we avoid that? And then second part is, what do we do after we click it? Or what do we do after we hit that and say, oops, I shouldn't have done that?
Yeah.
Kind of what's the right protocol for that?
Yeah, I mean, so phishing emails is pretty much the largest way that, the boogeyman in the closet in cybersecurity is ransomware.
Yeah.
That's, what you want to avoid. Back in the day, ransomware wasn't really as much of a thing as it is now, but then people found out they could profit off of it. And so just a lot of the development has gone into...
What is exactly ransomware?
So ransomware is some program virus gets on your computer, your server, your network, your whatever, and it encrypts the data on your hard drive.
Okay.
And they hold it ransom, saying if you want to get all, of your customers' data back, that you need to operate your business, pay us, X amount in Bitcoin. But the problem is, if you're dealing with criminals at that point,
sure,
cyber criminals, so you can't really trust them.
Right.
So just because you pay them doesn't necessarily mean
they're going to give it back.
They're going to give it back.
Wow. That's scary.
It is scary. So yeah, the whole goal is like ransomware.
Do they typically go after businesses, or could it be just your average everyday, household that keeps, who knows what they keep on their bank statements, anything they could get their hands on, basically.
Yep. So yeah, it can be anybody. And like I was saying, is phishing emails are the number one form of compromise.
Okay.
Because if I'm a hacker and I want to send out a phishing email, I send that email to 10,000 people. What are the chances that 10 of 10,000 will click on that email? Mm-hmm. It's basically 100%.
Yeah.
So you click on this email, on this link in this email, it always comes in. They're trying to convey a sense of urgency, like, hey, this is happening. You need to do this now. Like, hey, someone logged into your account, you need to click on this to reset this, or like something of that effect to make you skip the part of your brain that's like, hold on, is this a real email? Right. You get this kind of panic and you say, I better click on this because my bank account just got hacked, or my email just got hacked. You click on it and it may look like nothing even happened, but in the background, something got downloaded on your computer that homes out to whoever in whatever country they're in. And that's basically a backdoor. There's more to it than that, but that's basically in a nutshell the backdoor for them to get into your computer or to get into your email address or whatever.
Whatever they want at that point.
Whatever they want. And usually what you see is someone will get into your email and, they won't kick you out. They'll just live in your email. And they'll set up forwarding rules that say... especially you guys, for example, being like a financial, company, I'm going to get into one of your emails, and any incoming emails that you receive with keywords, money, wire transfer, account number, order, payment, anything like that, don't go to your inbox. It's going to forward to my email, and then I'm going to watch those. And then when you get the email that says, hey, from your customer, hey, here's my wire transfer. Right. That's the keyword, wire transfer. It doesn't go to you. It comes to me. I reply back as you because I'm in your email. And I say, hey, actually, I updated my routing number and checking number. Yeah. Send your, $30,000 to this email instead. Wow. So we see that a lot. And yeah, there's all sorts of different attacks, but it doesn't matter if you're a business or an individual. Individuals is kind of like a different game. It's usually like the scams. They try to get you on the phone. They try to get you to buy gift cards, do all that stuff. Whereas businesses, they'll either try to hijack your email and intercept payments, or they'll hijack your email to try to get you to click on some link that will install a backdoor for them.
Gotcha.
And say they get on your computer, they can't do much from your computer, but what they want to do is live on your network for weeks at a time, probing all the other computers, servers, security cameras, whatever is on your network to see if there's a vulnerability that lets them move laterally to that. And then once they're there, they do more scans until they can eventually, get to your server and launch ransomware, and it'll encrypt as much as it can on your network. And then you're kind of like, oh, you're stuck. You can't do anything.
Right.
So then do you pay the ransom?
Wow. Jeez. Fortunately, I haven't had that. Have you seen it? Have you seen that happen since you've been in the business?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do people pay?
People pay.
Gosh.
Yeah. I mean, you would think I'd never pay, but,
if they're holding it hostage.
Well, it costs X amount to run your business every day, and it's been a few days, and, you don't have any backups.
Right.
What's your alternative? Anyone
out there try to hack people like you guys? Are they brave enough to try it?
Yeah, I mean, we hold the keys to a lot of different kingdoms.
Yeah.
So we would be a very good target.
Yeah, interesting. So once you click clicking the email, there's no harm in that, correct? Like just to open the email.
Open the email, no.
Okay. So the catchy headline, something was compromised, whatever, you accidentally click that, nothing's done. It's typically that hyperlink or something to download, like an attachment, right?
Attachment, open it up. It's a Word doc. You have to enable the macros to actually see what's in it.
Yeah.
You enable the macros, and then it goes and connects out and then downloads all this stuff to your computer.
So what's a tipping, like a sign that they shouldn't click it? Is it like look at the email address that it came from, or is that usually the easiest place to look, or just pick up the phone and call your bank to say, did you really send this? What's kind of the advice around that?
Yeah. I mean, it's all those things. It's, look at the email. If it says it's, coming from Ben Zelei, but the display name may say Ben Zelei, but the email doesn't say, ben.zelei@whatever.com. It says, something at gmail.com. It's like, Ben doesn't, This is his work email. It's not some weird Gmail.
Gotcha.
Grammar is usually a huge one. You can hover over the hyperlink in the email. And if it says, hey, your Microsoft account, got compromised.
Yeah.
If you hover over that link and it doesn't take you to Microsoft, it takes you to some, like big vomit of like a URL.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't click on that.
Gotcha.
And then, hey, Ben, did you mean to send me this email?
Right.
I have no idea what you're talking about. You should delete that.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So when in doubt, just don't click, right?
Basically, it's always better to be paranoid when it comes to.
Sure.
Don't be too paranoid, but it's always good to keep the awareness going of phishing.
Sure.
I mentioned I run phishing campaigns for some of our customers.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole point is, like I said, it's not to poke fun. Hey, you clicked on this, you clicked on that. The whole point is to maintain the awareness. If you're constantly thinking about this, it's like, oh, IT's sending out a phishing email. You don't want to get caught, but at the same time, you want to catch them.
Sure.
So a lot of these like phishing solutions will put in like a report button, and it's like, oh, I think this is the phishing email IT sent out. I'm going to click report, and it's like, hey, you caught it.
Yeah.
And then, you get that good feeling. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, is to keep maintaining and raising awareness for phishing, because that's the number one way that these cyber criminals is what they are.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like using that word, but that's how these cyber criminals get in, is phishing emails.
That's the number one way right now?
That's the number one way.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about ways through like text messages, or like through, could they get through like a Facebook account, Instagram, like your social media platforms, or are there other avenues that they can attack?
Yeah. So you're getting into like the personal side.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you get the, everyone's had the family member where their Facebook account got hacked, and they get on Facebook Messenger and they blast out to the whole contacts list. something, whatever, help me out, and there's like a link to it. It's the same thing as a phishing email. They're trying to get you to click on that link, whether it goes somewhere or they're just trying to get you to respond so they can initiate a dialogue. That's the whole point of it. Gotcha. Is just to get you to respond.
Okay. Interesting. What about the ones that we see with like text messages? So I had a client that said she gets text messages, like she received them from herself to herself. Is that common?
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean,
how does that work, or what's the intention on that?
Yeah, these guys, these cyber criminals, they get some software that spoofs your number or spoofs their number to look like it's your number, or they always spoof your area code so you think it's legit. It's the same thing with robocalls. The whole point is to try to get some type of money out of you. Back in the day, viruses and whatnot, they weren't really, driven by money. It was just kind of like as a way to, troll people, if that's how you want to call it. Oh, I clicked on this and then, it kind of took over my computer. Yeah. I had all these pop-ups. People found out they could monetize that with, like ransomware or social engineering scams. And that's where everything's taken off too. So you get a text message from yourself, and it's like, hey, this is a confirmation, from your bank about this or that. And there may not even be a link on there. They might just want you to reply so then they can initiate that dialogue and to try to gaining your trust and to getting you to do whatever. But whatever always leads to some type of money.
Gotcha. That's the end goal nowadays is money.
Robocalls, the text messages, whether they're from yourself or not, that's the whole point of it. And the best advice is really just to ignore them. Okay. There are some apps you can get on the various Android, iPhone app stores that can, block some of this stuff. They're either paid or they're free, and if they're free, they usually don't work. And even if they're paid, they need to get updated anyway. Right. So I don't know.
Best way is
just ignore it. Like, hey, if someone's calling me, I don't know who the number is. If it's something important, they're going to leave a voicemail. Right. If it's a robocall, they're not going to leave a voicemail. It's
amazing. Sometimes we lose the common sense of it, right? Like when you see something about your bank account from your number to your number, you're like, why is my bank texting me from my number? But that's instantly you miss that, right? It
conveys the sense of urgency. Like, oh man, I need, something's going on here.
Right. Who else would have my number?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of wrap this one up, Ben, and we'll kind of go into some more stuff on our second part, and then really get your feedback in terms of what people can do to kind of proactively stop this or prevent this, or some measures that they can take to make sure that stuff is protected, and get your advice and feedback on that. Sound good?
Yes.
Awesome. So that wraps things up here for part one. And again, if you have any questions for Ben, I'll have you guys reach out to our office, and we can always connect the two of you with him and his team. They offer a variety of services from large business, medium to larger businesses, smaller businesses, and some individual work as well through their family of companies. And we'd be happy to connect you with them. And they're very knowledgeable. We can speak firsthand of their work and what they've done for our firm. So Ben, thanks for part one. We'll be back here shortly for part two.